Look, we're all just guessing here, and but that doesn't look. I mean, you could say that this section here is a cup and handle, and that it could pop up to 45. But then on the bigger picture, we have this trend line at the bottom, and with all the mainline news coming out, the SEC is now starting to go after brokerages and like Binance. They potentially might go after Tether because Tether would be competition to their CBDC coin. So they don't need competition. They don't need Tether to buy their treasury bonds, as you know, Sin City Crypto tried to say. They have plenty of money market funds just sitting at the treasury, sitting at the Fed, waiting to buy up treasuries. So there's plenty of money market funds and pension funds that need to buy up treasuries, and they're going to buy up all that. They don't need Tether around to buy up those treasuries. Tether is just going to be a competition to the CBDC that they want to try to roll out in July, and that's when we're going to start seeing fireworks around Tether. And we've already seen the fireworks around Coinbase and Binance. They've already labeled certain altcoins as securities in this recent lawsuit against Binance. Those included Cardano and Matic and Solana. So I mean, we're starting to see the fireworks, and the SEC, this SEC, is going after crypto. The only way we're going to really recover is if the SEC gets rolled and someone else gets in there who's more crypto friendly, and that might not be until the next administration. So that which for a 2024 bull market into 2025, that sounds like a plan. But right now, I think Ben is right. I mean, we're going to come down. Like, we might see altcoins like Cardano go bottom at like 4 cents. We might see Matic bottom around 8 cents. I mean, if they've been labeled as securities, people are going to start dumping them, and brokerages aren't going to even be allowed to sell them to new customers, so they're just going to get dumped, right? I expect Bitcoin to come down into this box, which is going to be, it's going to stop around 13 and hesitate, but it then eventually roll itself into this 10 area, stop again, maybe come back up and test 13, and then come back down again and hit like just below 7 before the end of the year, which is going to be like sometime December. And once it hits this line, it's going to go up. Now, the altcoins are not going to go up right away. Bitcoin will go up first, and then Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum is going to be interesting. It could go all the way down to the 500 or between 500 and 450. Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of interesting to hear people say that there's no way that Bitcoin could crash. I mean, this looks. What this chart he's looking at, this giant cup and handle, it looks exactly like all of my weed stocks that crashed in 2020. I mean, if we go back and we look at Hexo, and we say, oh well, what happened to those great weed stocks that were supposed to skyrocket once we got legalization and everything like that? Well, they completely cratered, and they did a similar pattern. So they had this. If this was Bitcoin, this would be 69,000, which then came down to 15,000, and then went back up to 31, and now it's hanging about here, and it's going. And then where did it crash? Oh, it didn't crash to 15. No, it would have crashed all the way down to almost nothing. So if I said this was Bitcoin, you would be like, oh yeah, it looks just like Bitcoin's chart. This is Hexo, which is a weed stock. So that's the thing about these highly volatile stocks that I've learned, is that there is a specific pattern of, luring people into like a giant dead cat bounce, and then people think, oh yeah, it's going to stop right there at the previous lows, which that would have made sense. They did like a 14-to-1 split on this stock, but that would have been around $2 before that split. But then they lured people in, and then people start going, holy shit, look, oh man, I gotta sell, and then they never buy back in. And this particular weed stock, I'm not buying back into either. It looks more like they're going to go bankrupt. But, and I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go bankrupt. I think Bitcoin will recover. It's just going to hit a bottom, which is not anywhere near where we are now. I mean, they're gonna come out with some real FUD, and that FUD's going to, cause. Lawsuits. Lawsuits against Binance is FUD. They're gonna try to go after them. Eventually, Binance is going to win this, but it's just to drive the crypto market down so that the elites can come back in and buy Bitcoin lower. It's all part of the plan. But yeah, they can't roll out a CBDC with an active crypto market. They can't roll out a CBDC with competition like Tether. So they're going to go after those, and then people are going to freak out, and then they're going to tell these brokerages that they can't sell certain things. So then those are going to collapse because you don't have any buyers and you only have sellers. The price is going to go down. We saw that happen with the GMC stocks. So GameStop stocks. So when you only have sellers and no buyers, and brokers are not allowed to sell it, new ones, but like they'll unload your position, then the price is going to go down. So things like Cardano and Matic are going to get crushed now that they've been labeled as securities. Same thing with Solana. Unfortunately, it's going to go down to probably like $3 from this point. It's at like 20. So just learning from the weed stocks and how those crashed, and how they did not stop at the supposed bottom. We're going to see a huge crash in cryptos too, which are just as volatile and just as illegal in some ways as the weed companies.